Hello, I'm Svitek, 360 Creative Coach, and this episode is really about this notion that as creative people, we tend to have a ton of ideas, which is great, right? Ideas strike us when we're walking, when we're driving, when we're showering, when we're doing other stuff, when we're sleeping, all this stuff, right? Just, they come from everywhere. And that's a beautiful thing. But what's equally as important is to capture some of these ideas. And that is why this episode really is about the notion that you should have a note-taking system. And for me, let me just kind of highlight mine, and then we'll sort of break it down of, your options essentially. But for me, the easiest way is I always know I have my phone on me, or at least most of the time, right? So for me, whenever an idea strikes, generally when I'm walking my dog and stuff like that, I'll literally just go on my phone and I'll just type in a quick email to myself, and I'll just kind of shorthand it, right? Because I'm walking and things like that, it doesn't have to express everything, but enough so I remember what the core of the thought was, right? And then, a couple days may go by and I'll have just insane chain of random emails that if someone ever thought, they'd be like, what is this, Da Vinci Code or something? But anyway, so then I take time to go through that and organize it into meaningful stuff, So for example, if it's an idea that I have for my script or something for the actors, right? I'll put it into, wherever it needs to go to. So for example, right now we're in pre-production for my movie. And if there's a task that needs to be done, well, I have literally, this Excel sheet that has the status updates of everything. And if it's a task that isn't on there yet, then I make it a new thing, and kind of create that. If it's something that I thought of, that's already a task, then I just update, a previous one or whatever. If it's related to the script, then I'll go through and I'll either make the change right away or, make a comment within the script so that way next time I'm really sitting down with the script, I can address that note, right? So it's a big organization method. Likewise, there's a lot of ideas that I have that I know it's not the time for them yet, but I don't want to lose them. Like, let's say, new story ideas for future projects. So what I'll do with those is I literally have a document for new story ideas. And if it's completely new, then it'll just kind of get its own little description as much as I can literally think of in the moment. Or if it's another project, an idea for a project that I've previously had an idea for, then I'll just kind of expand it, right? And it's just, and especially this last part, I think is important because, I think a lot of us can get overwhelmed and so forth and, want to be doing new projects and things like that. And so for me, it's important to capture those ideas, but I don't need to give them more than that. It's like my focus shouldn't be away from the 2 to 3 projects that I'm working on right now that are my main priority, right? I can always get, once I finish these, right, the 2 to 3, I can get to the other ones, so it's important to allow those ideas to seep in, store them, but I don't have to fully acknowledge them, right? And like I said, for me, a phone, the first step of it is that capturing just random thoughts in my phone. And like I said, phone, I just always have with me. If you prefer something physical, sure, you can have a notebook and things like that. But I just know for me, to carry a notebook around just isn't as practical, as it could be, right? Now, sometimes, yes, if I'm in my house and things like that, and, I can grab a piece of paper or hop on my computer real quick, and it might be easier to type out or write out versus just typing on my phone, then I do it. So it depends on the situation, but generally it is to my phone. Now, some people like to jot their ideas down into their notes app and whatever the case may be. That's all well and good. Same thing goes with a notebook. But I think the part that most people forget is then to translate those ideas into places of actual meaning, right? So, because a lot of times we have these ideas and so forth, and we jot them down, but we don't really do anything with them. And so that's why the second part of transferring them to the proper unit, for lack of a better term, I don't know, is paramount, right? So wherever it needs to go to, and it's there, right? It can be accessed for whatever that action item is, right? It's not just jotting the ideas down. It's setting yourself up so that way they are there when you need to, in order to execute, right? Because ideas without execution are meaningless. And that's why, to me, it is really important to have that system of note-taking versus, just randomly jotting down thoughts and so forth, right? Anyway, so that's how I work. That's why I think it's important. Regardless of your ultimate methodology, in terms of how you execute this, I think the principles are, think about those principles, of capturing those thoughts and then transferring them to something that's actionable, when you need to do that. To that effect, I'd be very curious, I'm sure if you have questions, by all means ask away, but if you have your own creative method of, executing the notions that I'm talking about here, please share them. Whether down in the comment section or hit me up on social media at Svitek. I would certainly appreciate it, because maybe there's a better way for me to do it too. I would love to learn. So I learn as much from you as you do from me. And as cliche as that sounds, it's true. So thank you. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you next time.